Hello from NRG Stadium. Randy McAvoy, Ari Alexander with you, putting a wrap on a Texans victory, a big Texans victory, 45-14, the final over the Cleveland Browns. Most people thought this would be a lower scoring game and a tight game, Ari, but man, from that time they took the lead 17-14. They did not look back, and no answer really for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, this is a complete performance. It was a surprising performance because there were things that we saw on both sides of the ball from the Cleveland Browns that are just significantly worse than they've looked all season long. Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, Brevin Jordan, guys are just getting wide open against what is supposed to be the number one defense in the NFL. And then Joe Flacco has been a revelation over these past several weeks, getting the Browns in the playoffs, getting them in a good situation, killed the Texans a few weeks ago, back-to-back, back-breaking pick sixes, and that's the game.
You mentioned on our pregame show that keep an eye on mistakes by Flacco. You called it a couple of pick sixes in that second half. I mean, that was a backbreaker. Back-to-back series, and all of a sudden, man, the game was over at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought after the first one, at 31-14, the way that C.J. Stroud and the offense was playing so efficiently, the schemes that we saw from Bobby Slowick getting guys open, and again, Myles Garrett neutralized by Laramie Tunsil. That secondary that's supposed to have three of the best cornerbacks, they weren't able to cover Nico Collins. There was even two plays, a big drop from Dalton Schultz, but he was wide open. C.J. Stroud overthrew Nico Collins a little bit, and I think he overthrew him because Nico ran past the safety and slowed down a bit because he was like, why is the safety not coming with me? And he was way too wide open.
Yeah.
So there was just so much space for the offense to roam. If this ended up being more of a shootout, I still think the Texans had the advantage. Defense made sure that wasn't going to happen.
I'll tell you what, statement delivered today. You saw the reaction on the field. These fans, a sellout crowd, they haven't seen this in a while. 2019, I went over the Buffalo Bills. Christian Harris, another guy, he had the pick six, but man, he wreaked havoc on Cleveland all day long. And D'Amico was talking about the growth of his game, and he had a big smile on his face just watching Christian Harris basically grow up this season.
Yeah, and it's a guy that you need on that defense. It's something that the Texans have really been missing for a couple of years, is someone to go out there and hit someone and make a statement, play violent football. They have a guy like that on special teams in Neville Hewitt. You need a guy like that on defense. Jimmy Ward is out. He's hurt. He's usually the guy that does that. Sometimes it's Denzel Perryman. Christian Harris is the one that made the statement today.
All right, so the Texans get the victory, 45-14. Everybody's wondering, well, who are they going to play? Well, we don't know yet. You got the Dolphins playing at Kansas City, and it's like 0 degrees in KC or whatever it is tonight. And then you got the Steelers and the Bills game, which has been moved to Monday. So there's still some moving parts. If you're Texans, that's the hard part. Now you got to sit and wait just to find out who you're going to play and start preparing for.
Yeah, I know, and people like the elements of football, but I think it's a pretty good argument for build an indoor stadium, please, because we had no issues today.
There'll be no snow shoveling going on in here. So, yeah, that game has been moved to the Buffalo Steelers game. So we will wait, but this much we know, the Texans are going to be playing another week of football. An impressive victory today, 45-14. They just blow out the Cleveland Browns. Win number 11 on the year for the Texans. More importantly, they're moving on to round number 2. That's a quick look. Well, much more on Sports Sunday as well as we break down the victory and look ahead for the Texans. For Ari Alexander, Randy McAvoy, so long for now from NRG Stadium.